That 6-year-old might suddenly just like become a 2-year-old again. Because guess what? If that baby gets all the attention, well, then I'm going to be a baby and get all the attention. Not even consciously, right? It's an attachment instinct to figure out, how do I get this person that I rely on for everything? How do I get their attention? How do I make them notice me? And if it means like I hear that baby crying, that baby gets noticed. Well, of course I'm going to cry. And again, not like I'm making a conscious decision. That 6-year-old isn't necessarily going, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to get back at those parents of mine. No, they're not doing that. But they are, in their very limited capacity, figuring out what is the fastest way to get my need met. If my need is attention and I throw something, yeah, I'm going to get that attention. But we can say, I can tell that you wanted my attention. I'm here. That's not safe, buddy. I'm going to take this so that nobody gets hurt. And then you can go into reminding them of the lesson. But don't do it right in that moment when everybody's struggling or people are dysregulated, because then we kind of put the lesson before the curiosity and the understanding. And we always want to put the relationship, which is the curiosity, the understanding, that authentic desire to want to help our kids. Because we do have that. We all have that. We wouldn't be here if we didn't have that. But if we put that lesson before all of that, we push our kids away. And then they think, oh, I am my behavior. I have to remember this to get that attention. But that doesn't always stick, right? Because the emotional context of being regulated, feeling loved and secure has to happen first. So as much as we can, we want to remain non-threatening. We want to remain non-punitive. If we're using things like timeout, or consequences. Now, consequence, if a child is doing something that's harmful, restricting them from that activity or that thing can be done in a way that's not punitive. Not punitive is, I'm going to hurt you so that you feel pain because you did this thing, and I want you to remember that pain so you don't do it again. But boundaries that are created for safety, for health, for protecting our kids, because if I need to create a safety boundary to make sure that we're working on whatever skills you need, it can take a while to express yourself authentically because we're so used to defense mechanisms. We're so used to attacking or denying or blaming or judging or guilting, all of those, or we don't know what to say to our kids. And that's okay. I think it's better to say to our kid, I don't know what to say right now. I want to hear more about how you're feeling. It's better to say that than try to shut them down, because they're going to be more open to the rule if they believe that you are interested in their well-being. Now, if we have older kids, teenagers or older, and we've had relationships that have had a lot of conflict around them, you can't go in and start giving rules and regulations and try to get kids to adhere to them until you repair the relationship. And so there are times when we have situations that have been going on for a long time. So if everybody in the family is struggling and nobody is agreeing, that's a lot of weight to fall on your shoulders. And and then if you feel all of that and then your child doesn't respond in the ways that you want them to, then it becomes, either blaming yourself and then thus becoming harsher to the other person, or becoming more critical of yourself and then losing all of your ability to either set limits or communicate or whatever that might be. You guys know that it's not about being authoritative or authoritarian. And it's also not about being, just like, oh, I'm your friend, I'm going to sit here and just listen and not do anything. Like, that's not what we do either. It's definitely a fine balance between when am I just listening and when do I need to put a boundary